Hi computer scientists, Mr. Stafford here, and today I wanted to show you Unit 5, Lesson 4, using enhanced for loops. The first level that we get to, it says choose from the following activities, and we can either remove red, remove green, or remove blue. I'm just going to remove red, and the purpose is to remove red from some images. So this is like a color filter. It asks us to first import Imageeffect.java, so I'm going to go to my backpack and flow down and find Imageeffect and import it. And it says create a new class called Color Editor. So I'm going to say new file, and it already has the .java file extension for me, so this is going to be Color Editor. Create that, and it asks me to import three things, so I'm going to import these three things and just paste it in. Do a little cleanup. And we have import org.codetheater, org.code.media, and the file not found extension. Okay, so we've imported those, and it says a color editor, which is the class that we have just created, is an image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say public class color editor extends image, because since a color editor is an image, I want to have all of the functionality of the image class. Okay, so it says a color editor is an image with one or more colors, red, green, or blue, being modified. So a color editor has a 2D pixel array called image pixels. So this tells me that that's going to be an instance variable. My instance variables are private, and it's a 2D pixel array, so pixel array, and its name is image pixels. Then it says the constructor takes a string file name as a parameter. Okay, so I'm going to say public color editor is the name of the class, which is also going to be the name of the constructor. I have a parameter of a string file name, so string file name. And it also throws, so this is a file not found exception. So this is after my parameters in the constructor, and it throws that file not found exception. It says I need to call super, so what I'm with file name from the parameter. So what we're doing is, since we're extending an image, right, we're just going to make image handle the file name that we are passing to the constructor of color editor, and then we will pass that parameter to the image constructor. So to do that, we say super file name. So this file name is getting handled by the image constructor. Okay, and we also need to initialize image pixels, which is the instance variable that we created. Well, let me see before I copy and paste it. And initialize image pixels. Okay, I do need to initialize it, an equal sign, to the 2D pixel array being returned from the call to image editor.getPixels, and then this. And again, this is a keyword in Java that is referencing the current instance of the object. Okay? All right. And then it says write the remove red method using an enhanced for loop. So I am done with the constructor, and I am going to write the remove red method using an enhanced for loop and set red to set the color, set the red color value for each pixel object to 0. And then we can test it in our myconcert.java. Okay, so scrolling down through the directions, it actually gives me a method signature that I can use, and some more comments in here, and it says to do traverse the pixel array and set the red value for each pixel object to be 0. Okay, so to do this with enhanced for loops, which is what it's asking me to do, is I need to do 4. And then what I'm doing is I need to say the data type that I'm going to be looking at, which is a pixel array. Because again, this is a 2D pixel array. Image pixels is a 2D pixel array. So the outer loop looks at the individual arrays of that image pixels 2-dimensional array. So I'm just going to name this pixel row because that's what it's looking at, is each individual pixel row. In the image pixels array, because I need to say the array that I am looping through for this for loop. Okay, the inner for loop is going to be looking at the individual pixels in pixel row. So the inner loop is looking at those individual rows and the elements within those rows. And those elements are pixels. So pixel is the data type, and I'm just going to name it P. And I am looping through the individual pixel row with this inner for loop. Okay, so we're doing it with enhanced for loops, and it says to set the red color value for each pixel object to 0. So what I need to do is with this P object, I'm going to do P dot set red to be 0. Okay, because I'm using that set red method, and I'm using the value of 0. Okay, I'm going to run this just to see if I have any issues. And it says that I cannot find symbol, image pixels, image editor. Oh, okay, so here might be a typo. So image editor.get pixels. It's not image editor, it's image effect. Okay, which has the get pixels method. Okay, so this is the wrong class. It's not image editor, which is what it said, what I copied and pasted here. It's image effect. So image effect. I'm going to go ahead and clear the console, stop and run it. See if I have any errors now. And everything has compiled successfully. Okay. Very good. Okay, so I need to test this though. So it says test your color editor in my concert. So I'm going to flow to my concert, and looking at the comments here, it says to do create a color editor object. Okay, so I'm going to say color editor, and I'm going to call it red remove equals a new color editor. And the color editor class is what we just created. And keep in mind, we need to feed it a file name. I'm just going to use this citycars.jpg file name from up above because that's the image that we're currently seeing right now. And in the end, I want to remove the red from this citycars file, from this image. Okay, so I made a color editor object, and then I need to use the color removing effect. This is the method that we just wrote, and we're doing the red remove. So I'm going to do, oh man, I've named my object the same name as my method. We'll see if that gives me an issue. I don't think that it will. Hopefully it won't, but I'm going to say red remove object dot red. Oh, no, just kidding. I transposed those in my head. This is just called remove red. All right, so red remove object, calling the remove red method, and end that with a semicolon, and then draw the color editor on the stage. Okay. So I'm going to draw, I'm just copying and pasting that draw image method, but instead of just that basic file, I need to call it on red remove. Okay, I'm going to clear the console, stop, rerun this, see if there's any errors. Doesn't look like any errors so far. I have the original, and then the red has been removed, and we're left with this like blue and green image of that same file. Okay, hit finish. You can do remove green and remove blue. It's basically the same thing as remove red, only you'll be removing the green and the blue. But I'm going to hit finish on this. Flow to the next level. Next level says, let's use your new image filter in the concert. Okay, so in theatercontrol.java, add a private static color editor temp color instance variable and a method create color editor using the same structure as the methods in the class Okay, I'm going to stop for a second, just take this one step at a time. So in theater control, I'm going to flow to theater control, and I need to add the instance variable, private static color editor temp color, throw down a semicolon, instance variable, and a method create color editor using the same structure as the other methods in this class. Okay, so I'm looking at the other methods in this class that we've done from previous levels. This is creating an image. This is creating a mirrored image, which is what we did before. And so I'm looking at these two different methods, and they basically have the same structure, right? They're public static. They return something. This is returning an image. This is returning a mirrored image. They have a name. They have a file name as a parameter. They have this try-catch block. Both of them have a try-catch block. Okay, and I need to just tweak this for a color editor object. Okay, that's the instance variable that we just created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And instead of returning a mirrored image, I need to return a color editor. Okay, so it's going to be color editor. And this is going to be create. I'm going to create a, what do I want to create? What do I want to name this? Create color editor. Okay. Because it says right here, create color editor. Okay, this is going to be, instead of a mirror image, this is going to be a color editor. And I don't really want to call this temp mirror. I want to name this, what do I want to name it? Just like temp color. Let's name this thing temp color. Because mirror was from the other temp color. Okay, so I've got color editor file name, catching that file not found exception, and then just saying that I have an error creating image. Okay, using the same structure, reading the instructions on the left, using the same structure as the other methods in this class, copy and paste it. Okay, and then in sustainableconcert.java, so I'm going to flow to sustainableconcert.java. It says add a color editor instance variable called color remove. Okay, so I'm going up to the instance variables, and it is going to be a private color editor instance variable and name it color remove. And then it says add a parameter string color remove file to the constructor. Okay, so I'm flowing down to the sustainable concert constructor, and I'm going to copy and paste this as an additional parameter string color remove file to the constructor. And I need to initialize color remove. Again, that's the instance variable. So we're modifying our constructor to initialize our instance variable color remove to the color editor return from the call to theater control.create color editor. So that's what we did in the theater control class with a color remove file as its argument. Okay, so I'm going to say color remove. We are going to initialize it with this theater control dot create color editor method with the color remove file. This was the parameter that we had in our that we just added to our constructor. Okay, so I'm done editing the constructor, and then it says in play concert, so I'm going to flow down to the play concert method, add a pause after mirrored was placed on the stage. So mirrored was placed on the stage here. I see that I'm already calling pause on line 21, so I just copied and pasted that. And then it says, call the method to remove the chosen color from color remove. Okay, so color remove. Color remove is that instance variable that we created, and the method that we call the method to remove the chosen color. So we removed the color red. So let me see, we did that in what class was that? I think that was in color editor. Let me go to my backpack though, because I don't have it imported and I think that I should. So I'm going to go backpack, color editor, and I should import this. So where is my color editor now? It's all the way to the right here. Okay. And I do have remove red. So if you've removed a different color, blue or green, that's the method that you're going to want currently. So we are removing red, and that's in our color editor class. Okay, so I gotta find where I was again. I'm in sustainable concert, color remove, and then remove red. Okay, so it says call the method to remove the chosen color from color remove. Okay, so I did that with remove red, and then I need to draw color remove on the stage. Similar to how I drew mirrored, I need to do that with color remove. So I'm going to do that with color remove. And then it says find and upload an image that shows different modes of transportation that residents can take to help reduce the negative environmental impacts of air pollution. Okay, I think I did that with the last one. I have this image of a clown riding a unicycle, and in my concert, so I'm just going to use the one that I did from the previous lesson. So I'm going to go to my concert, and it says declare and initialize a string called color remove file, and I'm going to do that. Where do I want to do that? I want to do that underneath the mirror image. So I'm going to do a string color remove file is going to equal. I'm going to use the same thing, clown.jpg. So not only am I going to mirror that image, I'm also going to remove red from that clown with the file name of your image, and add color remove file to the constructor call for the sustainable concert object. Okay. So this color remove file, if you'll remember in the sustainable concert class, we edited the constructor. Okay, I'm going to flow over to that now. We have 3 parameters now. We need the 2D string array, a string for a file name, and a string for a file name for a color remove file. So I'm going to paste that color remove file from this class that I just created to that call to creating a new sustainable concert. Okay, I'm going to run this, see if I have any errors, and just see what happens. Okay, it's compiling successfully. I have that collage, I have the vertical mirror, and then I have this clown riding the unicycle, and all the red has been removed from that image. Okay, perfect. So we're done with level 2. You'll click finish, answer the questions on the next level. I'm going to flow to level number 4. And this one is keeping a color. Previously, we removed a color. Now we're going to keep a color. So if you look at this image of the city, all of the red has stayed, but all the blues and greens are now removed from it. So I'm going to flow to keep red. And see more of my code here. And what I want to do is it says that I should import color editor from my backpack and Imageeffect. So I need to find color editor and Imageeffect. So I'm going to find Imageeffect, import that, and then in color editor, okay, so I got both of those imported. It says in color editor, write the method keep red. So I've already got remove red. And I need to use the keep red using an enhanced for loop to set the green and blue values for each pixel object to 0. Okay, and then it says to test it. It also gives me kind of a starting point here at the bottom of the instructions. Oh, and I've already done it, so I'm going to erase it really quick. And let me see. And I'm going to redo it right here. Okay, so I'm going to keep red, scoot that curly brace over. But essentially what I'm going to do is I've already written these enhanced for loops from above. So in the keep red, it says traverse the image pixel array and set the green and blue values for each pixel object to 0. If I look at the remove red, I've already traversed this 2D pixel array. I'm going to copy and paste that. So I'm going to copy and paste that traversal down in here. Make sure I'm keeping track of my curly braces. And it says to set the green and blue color values of those objects to be 0. So previously when I wanted to remove red, I set the red to 0. But now I want to keep the red. So I want to set blue to be 0. And I want to set green to 0 also. Actually, I'm going to do this in the order of RGB. So set green to 0 and set blue to 0. Okay, I'm going to run this just to make sure that I haven't messed anything up so far. Okay, so I've got my red still kept, green and blue are still kept in here. This is the original image. It says to test the color editor in my concert. So I'm flowing over to my concert. And it says to do, create a color editor object. So I'm going to do color editor. The whole purpose of this is to remove green and blue, which is basically I'm just going to keep my red. So I'm going to call this red keep equals a new color editor object, and we need to feed it a file. So I'm just going to feed it the same city cars JPEG. And then to do, use the keep color effect. So what I'm going to do is on my red keep object, I'm going to call the keepRed method that we just wrote. So redKeep dot keepRed, and then draw the color editor on the stage. So I'm going to copy and paste that draw method on my stage.drawImage, and I'm going to call it on redKeep. Okay, stop this, rerun it, and hopefully all of the red is kept and the blue and the green is out of this image. And it is. All I see is just a red image. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click finish on that. And again, you can do that with green and blue. It's essentially the exact same thing. With green, you're getting rid of red and blue. Okay, with blue, you're getting rid of red and green. Okay, same concept if you wanted to do the green and the blue additionally. I'm going to go ahead and click finish. Flow on to level number 5. And this one is asking me to, so it says, let's use your new image filter on the concert. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is just keep the red, and I'm going to do that on the clown. So anyway, it says in sustainable concert, so I'm going to flow to sustainable concert.java. It says add a color editor instance variable called color keep. So all of our instance variables are private, and it's going to be a color editor and color kept. Okay, so we had a color remove, now we have a color kept, and it says add a parameter string color keep file to the constructor. So in the sustainable concert constructor, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters now. Okay, and then it says initialize color kept to the color editor returned from the call to theater control create color editor. Okay, so in the constructor, we're going to initialize this new instance variable that we just created with the theater control dot create color editor with the color keep file. So here's my color keep file. And that looks good. It's very similar to what I had called from up above for the remove. And now it asked me to flow to in play concert. So play concert is the method right underneath the constructor. It says to add a pause after the color remove. So I've already called pause before. I'm going to recall that. Add a pause after the color remove. Okay, I did that. And then call the method to remove the chosen color from color kept. So the instance variable of color kept, again, we wrote that in, what was it? Color editor, okay? And that's the redKeep method, okay? So the color kept, we created keepRed in the previous level, so I'm going to call that. And then it asked me to draw color kept on the stage. So that's similar to all the other draw methods that I've done. So my stage.drawImage, instead of color remove, I want to call it on color kept. And then it says find and upload an image that shows different modes of transportation that residents can take to help reduce the negative environmental impact of the air pollution. I like my clown riding his unicycle. So I'm going to keep that. You can find another mode of transportation just to tell the difference. And then it says in myconcert.java, declare and initialize a string called color keep. So I'm going to do string color keep. And then again, I'm gonna just use my clown riding his unicycle. With the file name of your image and add color keep to the constructor call. So here's the constructor call. And I'm gonna do color keep, because now we have those 4 parameters for that sustainable concert. And I'm going to run this, and hopefully we see just a all red clown image at the very end. So in the concert, it's thinking about running. We have the collage, vertical mirror, the no red, and then the all red, and that's an all red clown. And that is it for level number 5. And go ahead and flow on to the check your understanding. But this is it for Unit 5, Lesson 4, using enhanced for loops.